So Blue Matrix Energetics Quantum Mind Tech Tools is definitely a life-changing experience to learn. So what you will learn in Blue Matrix Energetics is the energy science of how the consciousness is wired through the brain and nervous system, and really what that is, because there's so much that people don't know from regular science that Blue Matrix Energetics energy science presents that is just astounding. So it has to do with consciousness. We talked about on some of the Blue Matrix Energetics info YouTube playlist videos, for example, about camera eye, how we use faster areas of the brain to perform amazing tasks. And also how when your brain awakens, you have a much broader perception of life, of work, of everything. So for example, if you're working on a project and you have a more limited state of your education, of your upbringing, of everything. And then you have new information that helps you to see, open up your psychic centers more powerfully, to see unlimitedness of putting aside subconsciously programmed things like old history, religious connotations. There's a study on the New Matrix Energetics YouTube playlist you should watch about how religious symbols are embedded in things like horror movies and things that scare people generally, even about immortality or longevity, that it's vampires that have to be put away in a coffin that are the immortals, right? But they're like the Walking Dead, which is the opposite of people who are very slowly rooted in their cerebral cortex, a slower processing of space-time that does not allow for youthification and longevity because of the slower speed. And in order to have longevity that's greater, and even up to the concept of immortality, you have to use your nervous system and brain in hyperspace. That kicks out all of the old free radicals, everything, regenerates everything, makes the nervous system very powerful to fire information that is astounding at how it affects the cellular mass. It affects it to youthify it and keep it very flexible and very fresh and young looking. I am one of those people, you know, who has been doing this for over 20 years. My birthday is 1965, and I look continuously 30 years old. That is because of using Blue Matrix Energetics energy science for so long. And the nervous system is firing very, very high, blowing out any kind of aging all the time. And it's very, very interesting how all of my students who took Blue Matrix immediately stopped aging even before the ETs arrived here en masse. So it's also helped me to heal through any extraterrestrial challenges, because what I was told is your soul, your codex, has the attainment of what you did, riding hyperspace very, very high and to youthify itself. And so that is something that we work with the ETs, the Andromedans, in order to work with my hair or myotic tissue, any for my own repairs, so that I am able to maintain the attainment that I have accomplished, you know, even in these challenging times. So I use myself. And the soul has calibration in its codex information archive to hold onto that and to enable me to have that, you see. So it's fair. And with Blue Matrix Energetics, what we look at also is the concept of alchemy from a long, long time ago, something that has attracted people in movies and stories, and what it really is. And alchemy is a transmutation from one substance or state to another. So we look at rudimentary things like alchemy as curing the body from unwell state to a well state, of even manifesting an impoverished state to a wealthy state without any kind of engineering by extraterrestrials or any kind of help. It is simply through the focus of things like Le Petit Cafe Quantum Mind Tech Tool. We have Quantum Mind Tech tools in Blue Matrix Energetics. It is not the same as other people's DNA tooling or anything. We don't use that. It's a different organization. So what I wanted to tell you is that at the very highest level, I can sit, drink a cup of tea, and manifest it into a different substance. And I've done this before. And it happens very, very fast, compressing space-time, because I've been working my nervous system and brain for a very long time to be able to do those things. And people in the beginning stages will do things like cure illness or change quantum states in their life, change your environment slowly, things like this. So it takes time. It isn't something you take a class and can do it in a weekend to manifest, orange juice out of a cup of tea. It takes a lot of time to do things like that. And it is possible, however, it's not just in fantasy and hero movies, which is partly what I've done in my films that I've written, is put the people who have adept abilities as heroes, superheroes. It's this theory of the energy science of how that works is presented in the movies. So they're educational, they're going to be fabulous when they come out. So in addition, I've taken the wisdom of past lifetimes like Marilyn Monroe, my past lifetime, and also Queen Alexandra and Hathor, Nut, a lot of different goddesses in Egypt, put them into the movies to clarify things in history that are of very good importance to have an understanding. So what that does is it reprograms genetically the collective from dogmatic belief systems that are limited. We have now these corrections that have taken me 20 years to work on some of the information given to you about science, technology, biochemistry, even neurology-based information about how we are wired and how phenomenon is possible from blue matrix energetics explanation of phenomenon like teleporting from one place to another, of hyperspace jumps in healing quantum state from sickness to wellness that people have done in one blue matrix class, one event, the first one. They've done that with their Merkaba. And it is just phenomenal what can happen. I've seen my children as they were growing up use blue matrix heal bruises to disappearing within seconds, gone, like instant healing. And things like colds, flus would just fly out of their system until they were no longer getting them. The virus wasn't attaching. They weren't getting sick anymore. So very healthy children, which is invaluable if you're parents raising a family, or if you are at work and you need to heal yourself. So I know we've all had extraterrestrial challenges as well, which has put great stress on our bodies. And so it is an invaluable tool also because of that, to not only work better with the ETs in subconscious mind, focusing on our well-being, that are helping to maintain our wellness through all of this, but also through your own work on focusing on your well-being and your success every day to be at its optimum level. In addition, people who have taken Blue Matrix have shown higher IQ scores, much higher, myself included. So abstract reasoning increases, and therefore work and career performance is enhanced hugely. So anything you write, anything that you conceptualize, anything that you bring forth in the world is from a higher level awakened state where we are using the fastest processing areas of the brain in order to bring forth ideas that are going to further society, that are even going to solve problems one day, like when our sun burns out. Where do we go? What do? We may have finally space flight and big space stations to move everyone to a new area. There's some information from the Andromedans around this even that I found very fascinating. They mentioned their galaxy and Milky Way. They're older galaxies. If you look in astronomy at pictures like the Sunflower Galaxy, it is filled with new stars, filled with them. It's a newer galaxy where they've already found 50, was something like 50,000 inhabitable planets like Earth that look like they may be inhabitable. That there's a very rich source of life there, that if we ever lose our planet, They said the Milky Way, you've got another 500,000 to a million years of life probably from the suns, and they're a bit older. However, so we have that potential. We also have some star galaxy that the Andromedans are looking into as well for scouting out and going on trips to see what is there, for potential life should we ever lose our planet. So I'm mentioning this because it's also a deep-seated fear in the psyche of people. Otherwise, there would not be Armageddon movies, cataclysm movies, destruction movies. One day they're afraid that the planet will be gone, that the sun will be gone, and that we will need to have another place to live. And that isn't really presented in any of the films. Cataclysm and massive deaths are. So it's in the psyche, you see. So how do you attack that? How do you stop the person from shutting down, having a very small map in the cortex for what is acceptable? My job, my family, a bit of social time, a little bit of this new age or whatever stuff. But there's all these horrible fears that we don't have any answers to. And I don't want to be having an anxiety attack at work thinking about what's going to happen one day if this happens. So people tend to shut it down and have a very conservative society with airplanes instead of spaceships. So you have to look at all this and problem solve, and they don't have the awakening in the consciousness to do it, to find the answers. So that is where we have new matrix energetics. We look at all of it, and where we're going to go way in the future if we lose our sun even. I mean, that's really out there, but we're looking at it because we know stars die eventually in the sky, and we need a new home. And it's okay to say, well, we're going to die one day, so it doesn't matter. But you're going to reincarnate back to the same planet, so maybe it does. And if you do it enough, the sun's going to burn out. And if you attain any kind of longevity or immortality, then you're going to need a place to live one day when it happens. So we look at these things. What that leads to is greater engineering in spacecraft technology and all kinds that are being looked at and developed. And the more the mind opens up, the more potentials there are for even saving the human race, transporting them to another place where we can continue to thrive. So it's very, very small changes that the Matrix teaches you, all the way to very huge decisions and huge things that we will make as a society one day from a higher point of consciousness, like the Andromedans did. The Andromedans, in order to hold space-time on their ships, they burrow through wormholes, had to ascend the whole body. So they are ascended masters. They look very young in the face. And they said that they like you very much. Earth people wish for you to study my work. They like as well. And so they're ascended masters, and it is possible for humans to do it. I did it. Ceased aging, ceased getting sick. Have had trials and tribulations with ETs using me a little bit too much. So my huge light quotient sometimes went down to, really, really a little bit lower. So I've been just overwhelmed with everything that's been happening. And I faced it and looked at it instead of burying my head in the sand, because that's my training, quantum mind management from Blue Matrix. It allows you to do that, to discuss things and to understand what's happening. And we have information on the Starlight State blog and others, even on extraterrestrial presence, who they are, Andromedan arrival, the ancient race, I recommend to look at. The other YouTube playlist I have. And the Monroe material is a study of reincarnation that may be very interesting to people to look at, to help them know how to access their own reincarnation history, that some of the key people on Earth that have had very important lifetimes may want to do, to get answers, to help decode their archives, their history, to correct things as well, which is possible with the study of Blue Matrix. That is why the Monroe material is there. Me reincarnated, Marilyn Monroe reincarnated for real, not another person. Many people claim it, but there's only one, right? So, and the proof in that is I know things about that lifetime that other people do not know, and have written movies about it as well in the future. So we did a study on that life to understand how to do it. and to understand what role it plays in the current life, and to understand the difference also between taking control of our consciousness, which is past life information we all have, but it is not guides or spirits, it is us, that we are able to organize this information in ways that make sense for today, for what we are doing. So it isn't old or passe, it is now applied to understanding of how the evolution of the spirit includes reincarnation information, which I've written a really lovely movie called The Blue Butterfly Effect about reincarnation as well, which we find very, very interesting, and about blue matrix energetics practice. So there's lots of goodies coming up, films written for you people that have the energy science of blue matrix put into great stories, and using quantum mind tech tools, becoming adept alchemists of energy science. It is very magical, and it is real, and it is absolutely thrilling, some of the results that you have. So all we have to do is get through this period with ETs in the skies coming together with humanity and greater collaboration and peace. We have to get through humans doing that with each other. We have to get through evolutionary pains and fears. And fear and jamming not to look at something is the aging code, because it means that it keeps you in a program that is the past. You see, it's the past program people cling to. Now, when you have a program of longevity and youthfulness, it is a forever program, because the cells cease to age and it takes you forward. You see, so that's a difference. So I invite you to sign up for a Blue Matrix Energetics event with me teaching. I have other instructors that teach in Eastern Canada and different places. Here in local in British Columbia, I teach, Ariana Barbara Hudson. And I am the former president of the Canadian Reiki Association way back when. And I found that Reiki did not give me enough answers as to how we are wired, and really how energy healing works in ways that doctors and scientists could even understand if they participated in our work, which of course we invite everyone to participate if they would like to voluntarily sign up. So, and I put a lot of complimentary information on the YouTube Blue Matrix Energetics playlist for them to look at, and everyone in society to look at. So to sign up, it is at the bottom of any Starlight State main blog page. Under the blue flower, there is an area that you click on, and it takes you to the event page. There we have the sign up information. It is $1,000 for one day, $2,000 for the whole weekend. And you have a 2-for-1 bonus that I'm offering if couples show up together. So basically, you're each getting the entire weekend for $1,000, which is very, very reasonable. It helps you to understand one another afterwards as well. So there's lots of support of complimentary information there that has been up for a while. And we really haven't raised our prices much in about 12 years. So we finally did this very good weekend with a bonus. And we hope that you are able to attend and enjoy it, and join the rest of the people studying Blue Matrix Energetics with fabulous results. And the Andromedan people do up top Blue Matrix Energetics and are very thrilled with progress of you people, and hope that we have peaceful times ahead. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day.